Oh, Sasha, hey there, how's it going? I bet that you're looking pretty pregnant right about now, aren't you?
Hey there, Donna. Yes, I'd say I've gotten pretty big now. The baby bump is certainly noticeable. For anyone with eyes, really.
Well, I heard that you were really nervous about how you were going to raise the child. I even heard that you were asking your mother-in-law for help or any tips that she might be able to give you.
That is very true. I did go to her and ask for some help with this. I mean, this is my first child after all, so I just feel like there are going to be so many things that I don't know. But thankfully, Linda listened to all of my worries and was very good at calming me down and making me feel better.
I see. Well, yeah, I guess that she would be pretty good at that, considering the fact that she's been a mom for decades now. But you could have also come to me and asked for advice too. I'm also a mom, don't you know? Besides, we're basically like sisters, so there's no need to feel embarrassed about asking for a little friend's advice, right? I mean, after all, I'm your brother-in-law's wife. We're basically family, don't you think?
I really do appreciate you offering to help me when I'm nervous, Donna. But I actually really just happened to be visiting Linda when I asked her. It wasn't like I went out of my way to ask her advice specifically.
Wait, hold on a second. Just how often are you meeting with Linda?
Well, I guess pretty often now that I think about it. I mean, you know how easily sick I get, right? Well, she actually comes over to my house pretty often to help me keep the place clean and running. And so I guess we do actually end up spending quite a bit of time together like that and just talk about whatever is on our minds.
Is she coming over to your place because of how often you get sick? Doesn't that make you worried about your pregnancy at all? I mean, are you worried that your condition might affect the baby or something?
Yes, of course I'm nervous about that. I get so worried about my baby. So, I have done all I can to follow the doctor's advice as close as possible in trying to do this the right way.
Wow, I see. I guess I never knew just how fragile your body really was. I mean, you know that I've had 5 kids by this point, right? I never had any problems with a single one of them. They all just popped right out.
See, I really think that's incredible if I can be honest with you. I mean, not only did you go through pregnancy 5 times, but now that your husband has been living away for business, you're raising all 5 of them by yourself. I really just have to come out and tell you that I have nothing but respect for being able to do all of that. I'm really not sure if I could handle it.
I guess you are right about that. I am pretty great now that I think about it, aren't I? Besides, you know all the news about people having less kids, right? I just figure that I'm doing my part to make up the difference is all. Which reminds me, I meant to ask you, just how many kids do you think you and your husband are going to have in the end?
Oh, well, for now, we're just thinking of having 1 kid. I don't think we'd want any more than that. And of course, there's my physical health to be worried about as well.
Wait, what? Are you serious? You're really only thinking of having 1 kid? But that's crazy talk.
Is it really that bad? I mean, did you even know that you were going to want 5 kids before you had them all?
Oh, well, I suppose when you put it that way then now. I didn't really expect this. I always thought that I would only be having a couple of kids. But then all of a sudden, I got pregnant a 3rd time, and before you knew it, I had 5 kids.
So then after the 2nd kid, the ones after that just sort of came along?
Basically, yes. It wasn't that I didn't want to have them, but by the time I got pregnant, I figured, what the heck? Why not go through with it?
Wow, that is just... I really don't know if I could do something like that, you know?
Really? Is it that big of a deal? Just what is it about having a kid that makes you so nervous? You know that you can ask me anything you want about the process. I've gone through it quite a bit at this point.
I guess I'm just kind of worried about what I'll do when I go back to work and don't see my kid until I come home. And about how much money I should be putting away for them for their future. And then, of course, there are all kinds of insurance things to worry about. I guess really when it all boils down to it, most of what I'm worried about is money. How do you do it with 5 kids, if you don't mind my asking? I mean, no offense, but I can't imagine that it's cheap to raise so many little people, right?
Yeah, it isn't cheap for sure. That's why I don't really bother with any of those funds or savings or putting away things for the future.
Oh, really? You mean you haven't really thought ahead for any of your children at all?
I just think that parenting should be an unplanned and spontaneous kind of thing that gets decided right then and there. I don't really see the point in worrying about something that might not even end up happening in the future, you know?
Well, I guess that makes some sense. But what happens if there is some kind of emergency where you need funds right away? You really can never know what's going to happen, especially with that many children, right?
Nah, it really is all fine. I mean, kids go out and play and they get hurt and then they get better. I just let them raise themselves, basically.
I see. Well, what about college? Do you ever think of that? Or what if one of your kids needs special tutoring or has some expensive camp or activity that they want to try doing?
Meh, I think kids find ways to entertain themselves, you know? You don't need to get them anything too fancy. And as for college, I really don't see what you need that for. I mean, the state says you're an adult at 18, so I think my children should be able to take care of themselves by then. They'll be old enough.
You really think that your children are going to be ready to live on their own right when they turn 18?
Yeah, of course. I mean, they would have basically been raised taking care of themselves, so it'll be an easy transition, really. I guess I'm really just a kind of go-with-the-flow person who really doesn't try to get upset when it comes to raising my kids. Does that make any sense?
So you really don't get mad at your kids for anything? Don't you think there are some things that are maybe worth getting upset at your children for? I mean, how do you teach them that they've done something wrong if they can't see that you're upset?
I don't really think it's my job as their parent to do all that stuff. I think our main job is just to have the kids, and after that, they're on their own. I mean, why else do I pay taxes for schools if not so they can raise my children for me, right? Besides, I don't really see any laws saying that it's my job to do anything more than feed and clothe them, really.
Sure, but I mean, okay, well, do your kids study well in school?
I would have to say no, given some of the report cards that I've seen. And I never ever see them doing any homework either.
So then, don't their teachers at school get mad at them for not doing their work?
No, I don't really think their teachers get mad at them for anything. I mean, who even cares about homework, really? You know what I mean? Did you know that in other countries, they don't even have homework? Everyone knows that it's just busy work to keep children preoccupied anyways. So I just let my kids play and enjoy their life instead.
So then, if one of your kids did come to you and say that they wanted to go to college, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that they are free to make that choice if that's what they want. And then I would tell them to get a job and start saving up for it, because it isn't going to be cheap.
I see. I guess I just always thought it was parents' jobs to try and give their children as many opportunities as possible. So rather than just letting them run around doing whatever they want, you can help guide them towards a future they would want.
Hold on a second. Just what are you trying to say here? Are you trying to imply that I don't care about what happens to my kids?
No, of course not. But it just seems to me that maybe there's not a lot of planning when it comes to them. I mean, you said yourself that you don't save any money for them.
And just who do you think you are to be telling me how I should be raising my kids, huh? I mean, you haven't even had any kids. I don't remember ever asking advice from you anyways. Where do you get off trying to critique how I raise my family?
I'm really sorry, Donna. I didn't mean to upset you or anything like that. I guess I'm just realizing that we have very different outlooks on life. But you've given me a lot to think about, and I really do appreciate that. So thank you for talking to me about all of this. Hey, Donna, are you there? I just wanted to let you know that your kids are all at my house. Do you have any idea what this is about? I don't really remember you saying anything about them coming over.
What are you talking about? Of course I told you that they were going to go over and stay with you for a bit. I'm giving you a little taste of parenthood before you have to deal with the real thing.
I'm sorry, what? I feel like I'm not quite following along. Are you really serious about that?
Well, you were the one who came to me, so worried about being a parent, remember? So I just thought that I'd give you a little taste is all.
I see, but having to take care of all 5 of your children isn't going to make me any less worried about having my own. Besides, taking care of 5 kids all of a sudden is way too much for me. Can you please just come and get them?
Oh, please, what are we talking about? This is going to be a walk in the park for you. After all, you were confident enough about everything to not even come to me for advice first, right?
But the last time that you and I talked about parenting, you just got really mad at me.
Well, that's because you were completely ignoring the advice I was giving you. So since you're that confident, why don't you prove to everyone that you're as good a parent as you say?
I never really said I was a good parent or a bad parent. I'm really sorry if that's what you got from our talk. All I was saying was that I think our views are maybe a little too different from our parent styles to really have much overlap.
But you don't even have a parenting style yet. Besides, you were acting like you know what was best for my children. So why don't you go on and take care of them and prove that to me then? And if you do a good job, then I won't ever try and tell you how to raise a child ever again.
I'm sorry, but I really don't think I need to go through any of this just to please you.
Are you forgetting who you are in this family? I'll remind you that I'm married to your husband's older brother. That puts me in charge of you, and you have no right to tell me no when I ask you to do these things. Now, you are going to watch my children, and that is that. It's only going to be for a few days anyway.
Hold on a second. You're going to leave all 5 of your kids here for a few days?
Well, yes, they're all on summer break, and I told you that I don't sign them up for camps. But I have to go and put them somewhere. So I thought this would be the perfect plan.
No, you can't do this. I mean, my husband just left for a business trip, and I'm at home all by myself.
Oh, yes. I know all about that. That's why I chose today to send them over.
But there won't be a moment of peace and quiet around here the whole time that they are here. I told you that I need to keep myself calm so that I don't overexhaust myself while pregnant.
Oh, please. You just want everyone to treat you with kid gloves just because you're pregnant. Well, I'm telling you that I've done it 5 times and I never asked anything of anyone. You should be thankful that I'm giving you this chance before you have a child of your own.
Please, Donna, I seriously just won't be able to do this. They are making a huge mess of the house already. Some of your kids are throwing our belongings all over the place. Shouldn't they know better than to do this to someone else's house?
Well, you know that kids will be kids, right? I mean, they're just having a little fun is all. This just goes to show that you need more experience raising them, so you can start to learn with my kids. Oh, Sasha, I just wanted to check on you since it's been a few days. How are things going for you? Shall I come over and pick them up?
You weren't even at home this whole time, were you? I tried calling you a bunch of times, but you weren't picking up.
Well, I figured since I finally had the house to myself that I would take a little vacation with some friends. I had a lovely time. It was just the break I needed from being such a busy mom.
So you left your children at someone else's house so that you could take a trip with your friends? Well, I hope you had fun.
Well, when you're a hardworking mom like me, sometimes you just need a break. I'm sure you'll find out about all that eventually. But anyways, I'm just glad that we're both able to give each other an important experience like this. I hope you enjoyed taking care of my children while I was away.
No, actually, I'm afraid I had to give up on that rather early. It was just doing a number on my body and I couldn't handle all the craziness going on in my house.
Wait a second. So you're telling me that you didn't watch my kids?
That's exactly what I'm telling you right now, yes.
But, wait, what? What do you mean? What are you talking about? Where are my kids then? What did you do with them, huh?
Well, I took your kids to go stay with their Grandma Linda, of course. I told you that I just couldn't handle them here.
You sent all of my kids to go be with our mother-in-law? Why would you do that?
Because I called her and told her what was going on and that I couldn't handle dealing with all your kids. Then Linda said that she would take care of them for me.
You've got to be kidding me. So you're telling me that for the past few days, all of my kids have been with Linda and not you?
That's right. I just knew that I had to send them away since I was pregnant. But I've heard that they were also acting up terribly in front of Linda as well. They even broke several glass things, tore up the carpets, and even destroyed some art in her house.
Did my kids really do all of that? I had no idea at all.
Well, I think even Linda tried to be patient with them at first, but ended up having to call in her husband for help. You did know that Frank used to be a drill sergeant in the military, right? Anyways, I guess the two of them got angry with your children and tried to set them right.
Oh no, this is really bad. This wasn't supposed to happen. I have to go and pick up my children right now.
Yeah, I suppose Linda and Frank are probably wondering whose fault it is that their grandchildren are like that. You 3 will probably have plenty to talk about when you get there.
But why would they think that it's all my fault? Were you talking poorly about me to them or something?
Oh, I didn't have to do anything of the sort. I think that they figured out just whose fault it is all on their own. After all, why else would all your kids be running around as if they had never even heard of the word manners? But you didn't care about that either way. You just wanted to take your trip, which I was also sure to tell Linda about.
How could you do this to me? I just wanted to give you a chance at raising some kids. I was trying to be friendly.
Is that really what you call being friends? Because it certainly didn't seem that way to me. And I have to say that I didn't learn anything from that experience either. You just dropped off your kids without warning and expected me to be your free babysitter. Well, I heard from Linda that she told you to never talk to her again. I was also talking to my husband, and he said that we should probably keep our distance as well.
But then, that's the whole family. They're all against me now. I can't believe this is happening to me.
Yeah, it sounds like Linda and Frank were really furious with you. I mean, did you even apologize to them?
Of course I apologized to them. The moment they opened the door when I arrived to get my kids, I said I was sorry. But you should have seen the way Linda was looking at me. Her eyes were so cold, and you could tell she was blaming everything on me.
I even heard that Linda called your husband and told him all about what had happened.
It's true, and no, he's not going to be coming back from his business trip this weekend. But he said that he's going to go and stay with his parents for a while.
So I guess if you want to see him, you'll have to deal with all three of them lecturing you, huh? Although I hope you understand how you did this to yourself. Your husband went away on that trip hoping that he could count on you to take care of your family, and you just let the kids do whatever you want.
Shut up! You don't know what it's like to deal with 5 kids. You don't know what I've been through.
Well, whatever it was that you have been through, I hope you at least managed to release some stress while you were on your vacation.
Oh, just stop it already, will you? Did you know that I might get divorced because of you? I even hear that I might lose custody of my children.
Well, who knows? Maybe that might be the best. I mean, someone has to teach those children to behave. Not only that, but those kids need someone who is going to think about their future and make sure they have opportunities when they grow up.
But I gave my children all the opportunities they can have to do whatever they want. How is that any different from what someone else would do?
You know, I thought I respected you because of how many kids you had. I thought that surely you were having them responsibly and making sure to take care of them all. But now I understand that you have got to be one of the worst mothers I have ever seen. I mean, you hardly even do any parenting at all. But at least it sounds like we won't have to be dealing with you for very much longer. Whatever happens, though, I just hope that your children get the chances at a good life that you might have taken from them.
No, this isn't fair. I thought that we were friends. We're sister-in-laws. You can't just do this to me. You can't just leave me like this, please. I don't have anyone else on my side. I need you right now. Can't you see that?
After that, Donna settled down a bit and her texts were much less gloaty than before. Although it didn't change how Linda and Frank about her one bit. After her husband returned from his business trip that had kept them apart, he went to go and stay with his parents to find out about what happened. Donna went over there one day to talk to all 3 of them, and they decided there that a divorce was in order. Donna tried to protest, but she knew that she wasn't really going to get anywhere. After that, Donna's husband was granted custody of the children, and they all lived with Linda and Frank. I hear that all 3 of them are being very active in making sure that the children straighten up and fly right. As for Donna, after the divorce, she had to sell her house and move into a much smaller apartment, where she lives all by herself. I can't imagine the grief she must be feeling as a mother, but I wouldn't want my children raised by someone like her. So it's hard for me to truly empathize.
Hey, Hank, are you there? I just wanted to ask you a really quick favor if you weren't too busy.
Oh, hey, Miranda. Yeah, sure. What do you need?
Well, it's actually just about my job, you see. The vice manager was going to come in today, but then he got hit by a car, so he isn't going to be able to work for a while now.
Oh, shoot. Someone at your work got hit by a car? Hope he's okay.
It doesn't sound like the injuries were life-threatening or anything like that, thankfully. But he did say that he probably wouldn't be able to come into work for about 3 weeks or so, and he asked if I would be interested in covering his shifts.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna be at work a bit more than usual for a while then? What are you gonna do about Lisa then?
Well, I was going to make sure that I would always be able to get off in time to go and pick her up from preschool and take her home.
Oh, well, that's good then. Sounds to me like you've got this whole thing figured out then. So, what seems to be the problem then?
Well, it's just I'll probably have to go into work on the weekends as well, you see.
Oh, really? Well, that really stinks. But I guess you are basically working 2 people's shifts now, so maybe it can't be helped.
Right, but the thing is that the preschool is going to be closed on the weekends, right? So what I wanted to ask you was if you wouldn't mind watching over Lisa for me on the weekends while I'm at work.
Oh, is that all you wanted to ask me about? Yeah, sure, I could watch her. It's no problem at all.
Wait, what? Really? You're really fine with that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're always keeping an eye on her, so I don't mind it if you ask me to do it for a while.
Thank you so much. You know that I wouldn't be asking you if I was able to do it myself, but I just can't with this sudden new work schedule.
No, you don't need to worry about that at all. I'm at home all the time anyway. It's not like I'm ever going to be out all that often.
I actually think you spend most of your time out of the house, if I can be honest. But when you say that you're going to look after Lisa, you do mean that you're actually going to take care of her, right? Because a lot of times you're just on your phone the whole time in the same room as her.
Are you saying that it's impossible for me to look at my phone and babysit a toddler? I'm pretty sure that I can handle it.
But I want you to do more than just be with her. I want you to play with her and interact with her, okay? Do you think you can handle spending a whole day with her without looking at your phone? Because if you think this is going to be too much for you, I can always just go to my mom and ask her to help out.
You mean you would rather ask your mom to watch Lisa than your own husband? You don't mean that, right? Besides, her house is so far away.
Well, I thought that I would ask her to come up and spend the weekend at our place when I needed her to.
But that would mean that she would be coming over every single weekend for at least 3 weeks. I would hardly get to enjoy myself if that happened.
Okay, well, if you don't want my mom to watch Lisa, how about your parents? Could you just ask them?
No, that wouldn't work either. They also live way too far away. I mean, they're even further than your parents.
Okay then, it sounds to me like it's decided. I guess I'll just call my mom and ask her to do this.
Wait, you can't do that. Do you really have so little faith in me? I mean, Lisa is only 3 years old. I'm sure if I just let her take naps and pop the tablet in front of her that she should be fine, right?
Knowing our daughter, I doubt she would be interested in sitting still for more than a couple of hours.
Look, I'm Lisa's dad, and you came to me first to ask if you could do this, right? So I am telling you that I can do this and you have nothing to worry about.
I did ask you, but I was really nervous to even be doing that, you know? I mean, I feel like the entire time we've been married, I've been doing all of the child rearing and keeping the house clean.
Well, I'm really sorry that I haven't been doing enough.
But what I want to know is if you're going to change and start doing stuff now.
Of course I am. I already told you that it would be fine. Why are you on my back over this?
Well, okay then. If you really want to show me that, let's consider from now until Friday a kind of test run.
You mean that you really don't believe that I can do this?
You said yourself that you haven't been doing enough around the house, so let me just make sure that you know what you're doing.
Well, okay, I guess that's fine.
Okay then. It's a deal. Make sure you don't schedule anything for the next few weekends, please. Hank, are you seriously still not home yet? It's almost 8.
Ooh, yeah, sorry about that. Some fellas at the office invited me out to go drinking after work, and so I got a little caught up.
You mean you're out drinking again? Didn't you do that last week as well? I made dinner for all of us, and now your plate is just getting cold.
You're right, I'm sorry. I should have said something to you sooner. That was my bad.
I even had a fresh salad made because our neighbor gave us some fresh veggies from her garden. But it's so much, and there's no way that Lisa and I are going to be able to eat it all by ourselves.
Okay, geez. I already said that I was sorry. I'm not sure what else you want from me. I'll just eat the salad for lunch tomorrow, okay?
You do that, but it doesn't change the fact that you've been going out a lot lately.
Well, I already said that I would give up my weekends just to watch Lisa. Am I not allowed to have any fun during the weekday now, too?
Hank, I am very grateful that you agreed to watch Lisa while I have to go to work. But you shouldn't act like spending a time with your daughter is a chore.
Well, it is a chore when I'm only having to help you do it because I'm helping cover for you.
And again, I am really grateful that you're doing this. Honestly, I am. But I'm just thinking that you really don't spend much time at home, and I think it would do you good to get to spend this time with Lisa.
You think that some 3-year-old kid is gonna remember anything from now when she's grown up? I'll just play with her when she's bigger and isn't like, a literal baby.
I wouldn't really call a 3-year-old a baby, but there are plenty of ways that you two can play and have fun. I mean, do you really just not want to spend any time with your child at all?
Look, you might be busy, but I also have a lot of stuff that I have to do, and yet I still agreed to help you out. Does that not count for anything?
Of course it counts! And I've said over and over again how grateful I am to you. I don't get why you're acting so defensive over this. I mean, this is our daughter that we're talking about. Aren't we supposed to raise her together?
I don't remember asking for any lectures from you, thank you very much. I already told you that I would go and watch her on the weekends, and yet you still have something to complain about, huh? Just who do you think you are? It's not my fault that your job is giving you more hours to work, so quit making it my problem.
It's no one's fault at all. My supervisor was hit by a car and is in the hospital. These things just happen. I really don't like the way that you're talking to me right now. I mean, if Lisa got sick, then one of us would have to take off work to be with her, right? It's the same thing.
No, if Lisa got sick, then you would stay home to take care of her. Unlike you, I work a full-time job, so I can't just call out or add hours willy-nilly like you do.
I know that we have different jobs, but I really like where I work, Hank. Now, I'm sorry you're upset that I've been asked to work more, but I think you're making it out to be worse than it really is.
You really have some nerve telling me what I do and don't think, you know that?
Hank, I don't get why you're acting as if I'm being unreasonable. I've given up all my weekends to watch Lisa up to now. All I'm asking is for a little extra help and that you actually play with her. Normally when you come home on the weekends, you just spend all day in your office on the computer. You never help me clean the house. You never say so much as thank you to me for keeping it that way. You just care about yourself.
Okay, I guess if I only care about myself then you don't care if I don't watch Lisa this weekend, is that what you're saying?
Hank, please don't be like that. This is the last time that I'm going to have to go in on the weekend. You know that, right?
Well, I don't care. I'm not gonna go along with your plan any longer until you apologize to me for all your nagging. If you don't like it, then you can just go and ask your mom.
But my mom is away on vacation right now. You said that you would do this for me, Hank.
And just what are you gonna do about that now, huh? Do you want me to watch Lisa this weekend or not? The choice is yours.
You're right. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have nagged you so much about this.
And? Is that all you have to say?
I would really, really appreciate it if you could watch Lisa for me this weekend, Hank.
Well, I'm not sure if I quite bought that. You might just have to try again when I get home. So start working on your real apology now.
Hello, Beatrice. I'm really sorry that I couldn't pick up the phone when you called. Do you mind if I ask what it is that you want to talk about?
Can you still not pick up the phone? You know how much I hate texting. I'm an old lady, for goodness sake. Anyways, where are you right now?
I'm sorry, but I really can't do any phone calls right now. I'm still at work. But I can message you, so please just bear with me. What was it that you wanted to talk to me about?
I just wanted to let you know that I broke one of your windows for you.
Sorry, what? You broke one of my windows? Like the windows on my house, is that what you mean? Are you telling me that your grandson was over and he threw a ball through one of them or something like that?
No, I mean that I saw your daughter collapsed on the floor. She wasn't moving at all. What were you thinking, leaving a poor 3-year-old girl at home all by herself?
Wait, what? She was by herself and she wasn't moving?
That's right. I went out to go and hang my laundry on the clothesline, and I just happened to see little Lisa on the floor. At first, I thought that she had fallen asleep and was taking a nap. I thought she was so cute, so I went to take a closer look, but then I saw her face was beet red. I tried ringing the doorbell to your house to try waking her up, and then I tried banging on the window of the room she was in, but there was no response at all.
Oh no, that's terrible. Is my daughter okay? What happened to her?
It's okay, Miranda, don't worry. I called an ambulance and they came and took her away. I guess she was just having a bit of heat stroke from the sounds of it. I got on the 1 numbers of the paramedics and he told me that she was resting in bed getting fluids pumped into her.
Oh, thank goodness. So she's really going to be okay then. Thank you so much for coming to me about this, Beatrice. I really appreciate it. I'm so sorry that you had to go through all that trouble though.
It's fine. I'm just glad that Lisa is going to be okay. But what I want to know is where you or your husband were. Why was Lisa home alone? If you didn't have anyone to watch your daughter, you should have just asked me to. I love spending time with Lisa.
But I thought that Hank was home with her. He was supposed to be anyways.
Well, when the paramedics arrived, they said that there was no one else in the house. Even if Hank was asleep somewhere, the sound of broken glass should have woken him up.
Are you still at your house? Do you know if his car is still in the driveway?
I don't remember seeing any cars parked in your spot at all.
Then that means that Hank just left Lisa behind to go and do something.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm very sorry that you had to find out this way. I didn't mean to blame you, but I just wanted to know what was going on.
No, you're right to be so upset over something like this. I would never leave Lisa alone. And I'm responsible for this on some level, of course. I know that I should never have asked Hank for his help with this.
Well, I think that you and Hank need to talk about this later. Do you think that you can get to the hospital to be with Lisa?
Of course. I'm at work right now, but I'll explain what happened to get someone to cover for me.
Okay then. I'll let them know that you'll be arriving shortly. I'll head over myself so I can tell you the details of what happened in person and be there for you both, of course. I know that you must be feeling a lot of things all at once right now, but you need to remember to keep cool and be safe. Your daughter needs you right now, so take care of yourself on the way over.
Miranda, are you there? Something really bad happened. I need you to call me as soon as you get off work, okay? I tried calling your work, but nobody picked up. Please, this is really bad. Just call me as soon as you can, okay?
What is it, Hank? What do you want?
Are you done working? Can you call right now? This is an emergency.
I'm afraid that I can't really get on the phone right now.
Please, this is serious. I need to talk to you right now. Lisa has been kidnapped.
What do you mean by that? What did you do to our daughter?
I didn't do anything. But when I got home, a window was broken and Lisa was gone.
But how could that happen? And what do you mean when you got home? I thought that you were with her.
Sorry, I didn't mean get home. I just meant got downstairs. Yeah, I was taking a nap on the 2nd floor.
Oh, really? But someone broke a window and that didn't wake you up at all?
I guess I must have been in a real deep sleep from all the babysitting I've been doing. I'm so sorry, though. I have no idea how this happened.
So even though you think our daughter is missing, you're still going to lie to me about where you were. That's it. We're getting a divorce.
Wait, what? What do you mean? How can you say that I'm lying? This is really serious.
Calm down. It is serious, but not in the way you think. I'm with Lisa in the hospital right now.
The hospital? Wait, what are the two of you doing there? Is everything okay?
Well, Lisa passed out in our home because she was suffering from heat stroke. Our neighbor Beatrice saw her through the window and tried to wake her up, but it didn't work. Finally, she threw a rock through the window just to save her.
But wait, is that really what happened? Oh, thank goodness.
This isn't good at all, Hank. Just where were you? Why weren't you at home? Beatrice said that your car wasn't in the driveway. Did you go out for lunch or something? Why would you just leave Lisa in the home without AC on?
You don't understand. I just stepped out for a little bit. I was just gonna go to the convenience store, that's all.
Which convenience store? Because there are plenty that you could have just walked to from our place. Or did you really have to drive all the way to go and pick up a bag of chips or whatever it was you were getting? And that still doesn't explain why you would leave Lisa.
I really am sorry, okay? I never thought things would go like this.
But you still aren't answering the questions. I want to know where you were. I know that you lied to me, so just tell me the truth.
The truth is that I had a friend who had spare tickets to a baseball game, and he asked me at the last minute if I would want to go.
I don't believe it. What in the world were you thinking, Hank?
I just thought that I would watch the game and then go straight back home, I swear. I thought that I was gonna be away for like an hour, and I just turned off the AC without really thinking about it, okay? I'm sorry.
So you left Lisa alone in the house for over an hour then?
But when I left the house, she was still asleep. I thought that I would come back and she would still be sleeping.
I don't even know what to say. Do you even want to be a father? How could you do this? I mean, you're an adult and you really thought it would be okay to leave a 3-year-old alone in a hot house like that. And this isn't any child. This is your daughter that we're talking about here.
I know, I really am sorry, but I didn't think things were gonna go this way. I was just getting so stressed about not being able to do anything on the weekends.
You were stressed because you had to watch your daughter on the weekend. I've been working for almost 3 weeks straight now.
Well, sure, but I mean, why didn't you just ask your mom to do this?
Because you insisted that you be the one to watch her, don't you remember?
But I just, look, I have to work during the weekend, you know that.
And I work and take care of the kid. What is your point? I'm basically on the clock all the time.
I really am sorry, okay? I know what I did was wrong now, and it's never gonna happen again.
You're darn right it isn't going to happen again. Lisa and I are staying the night at the hospital, and then tomorrow you are going to sign the divorce papers.
Wait, no, please, don't do this. I said I really am sorry. Why do we have to get a divorce on top of all that? This is the only time this has ever happened.
And this one could have cost Lisa her life, don't you realize that?
Don't you think you're being just a little bit dramatic?
How so? You almost killed our daughter to go watch a sports game.
You're right, I shouldn't have done that. But I'm listening and I'm learning, and all I ask for is a second chance. I mean, doesn't how panicked I got when I couldn't find Lisa count for anything?
You were just pathetic. Do you know that? Do you think I want any of your little excuses or platitudes? You aren't taking responsibility for this at all.
Please don't do this to me, Miranda. You two are all I have in this world. You can't just leave me. I really am sorry.
I knew that I should never have left Lisa with you. And here I thought you actually wanted to try and be a good father. Well, I am never going to make that mistake again. The next day, I went back home to confront Hank in person. I dropped Lisa off at my mom's place so she wouldn't have to see us fight. Hank refused to sign the divorce papers, and in the end, it took a whole month and bringing in his and my parents to finally make him crack. Although I was always going to tell our parents what had happened, his reaction to me wanting a divorce ended up turning everyone against him. I couldn't care less, though. I'm just glad to be done with this marriage. Over time, however, the details of our divorce started being passed down the grapevine, and soon even all of Hank's co-workers knew what he had done. It wasn't long before Hank was truly left alone with no family or friends on his side. After the divorce, I went to go and live with my parents while I looked for a job and a new house for Lisa and I. It took some time, but I finally found a full-time position and an affordable apartment.
Hey there, Marie. I heard that you and my brother finally found a place where you both want to move into. Is that right?
Yeah, I guess you've already heard the big news then. But Randy and I were going to be moving into our new house next month. Isn't that exciting? We hope that you and all your family can come and visit us there as soon as we have everything unpacked and cleaned up.
Oh, we just love to do that, but I heard that your new house is going to be pretty far from Randy's work. Is that true?
Yeah, it is going to be just a little far for Randy, unfortunately. But it's just such a good house that neither of us were considering not snatching it up when we saw it. It's only a few years old and also seems perfect for us since we have pets.
I see. Well, I really am glad that you two are so pleased with what you found then. That's great news. I guess that means that you didn't like the houses that I sent over as suggestions when you were still looking?
Well, Randy was the one who was looking into the houses that you sent. But then he started looking into the neighborhoods they were located in, and they didn't seem so great. And I guess I'm just a bit of a scaredy cat, so I asked that we live somewhere else. But thank you so much for wanting to help us with our search. It really did mean a lot that you wanted to give us a hand.
No, I am so sorry that I didn't do better research and just sent you what I thought looked nice and in your price range. I didn't bother to do any further reading about the neighborhoods or schools or anything like that.
Well, it really isn't a problem at all now that we found the new house that we're going to live in. I'm just so happy that the search is finally over and we found the place that we want to live.
Speaking of, I guess this means that you two are going to have to really start nailing down those wedding plans then, right? I heard through the grapevine that you were having some trouble finding a venue for the wedding, though.
Yeah, we were having a bit of trouble, but we finally managed to find a spot and put in reservations.
Oh, really? So then you two did end up finding a spot to have your wedding as well?
Well, you remember that one spot that I was talking to you about the last time that we met up, don't you?
I remember you telling me that more than any other place in the world, you wanted to get married there.
Exactly, that place.
But you also told me that it was really, really popular and might be impossible to ever get a reservation in on time.
I know, and I really did think that it was going to be too difficult to do that. But I just didn't give up. I called them a couple times a week to ask about any cancellations, and then finally a space opened up.
So then you basically just kept hounding them until there was an availability?
I mean, basically. But you have to be persistent if you want a reservation at this place. So, one day, I called them and they said there were some open dates right around when we were wanting to get married. So I booked a day right away.
Wow, well, good for you. It sounds like things are really starting to come together for you and Randy then, aren't they?
I sure hope so. I mean, these all seem like good signs to me. But man, it has been so difficult trying to nail everything down. I mean, it's been a while since I felt like I was fighting this hard for bookings and open houses and all these stuff.
I see. Well, you know that you can always ask me for a little help if you need it. I'm more than willing to give a hand if you need it.
Thank you so much. I mean, you really don't know how much it means to have someone that I can talk to about all of this. And since you offered, I really just might end up taking you up on that. I really am glad that I have such a great sister-in-law like you that I can always count on. Thanks again for everything.
Oh, don't make me blush. You know that I'm just happy to be there for you when you need me. Just let me know if there's anything else you might need. By the way, does that mean that you've officially booked and paid for the wedding venue? I assume so, since you were so set on getting a date there.
I'm actually going to call them in a week to try and finalize everything. I didn't have all the money I would need to make the booking when I made the reservation a week ago.
I see. Well, yeah, that sounds like you still might have a lot on your plate for the time being then. Maybe best to get back home and think all of this through so it all goes along smoothly. I had one friend who just kind of rushed their wedding plans without stepping back to think about the wider picture and the larger plan, and they ended up with a very expensive ceremony that they were only okay with.
Oh, I see. Well, that is a good point then. I don't want to dig myself into a hole that I won't be able to get out of. You're right. I guess there is still quite a bit that I need to think about. But I'm really glad that you came to me so that I could talk to you about all of this.
Of course, it's my pleasure. I know that there are probably a million things going on inside of your head right now, so it can be hard to keep everything straight. But for now, you've gotten your dream wedding venue booked, and that's a huge check on your to-do list. By the way, is it really true that your wedding day is the same day you and Randy had your first date?
Yes, it is true. But that isn't actually why we chose to go with that date. It just so happened that our schedules happened to match up around that time of year, and then that day happened to be free.
I see, but then again, it would be kind of hard not to go with a date like that, right? I mean, it's just too perfect if you ask me.
I mean, you're very right there. I'd be lying if I said that we didn't know what we were doing at all.
That's great. Well, anyways, my boss is calling me into his office right now, so I think I have to go.
Oh, yes, I guess lunch is almost over, isn't it? I guess I should probably start getting things ready as well.
Of course. So sorry for taking up your lunch break talking about this.
It was no bother at all. I really enjoyed catching up with you and getting to talk about all of this. Thank you for listening and for offering so much helpful advice.
It's my pleasure. I guess we'll talk later then. Have a good day.
Hey, Hilda, are you there? Do you have a second to talk? I was just wondering if I could talk to you about something really quick.
Yeah, sure. What's up? Did you have another wedding question or something?
Well, the thing is that my reservation at that venue I was talking to you about got canceled.
Oh, really? You mean you got a call from there saying that your reservation was gone or something?
Hilda, I'm going to ask you straight, so please don't play dumb with me. Were you the one who canceled it?
What? What do you mean by that? I'm sure I have no idea at all what you're talking about. How could you just accuse me of something like that? It doesn't make any sense. I'm shocked that you would even say something like that.
I think the one who is most shocked here is me. I mean, how could you do this to me? When I called them and they said the reservations had been canceled, I asked what phone number they got a call from to do that. And they gave me your phone number, Hilda.
Wait, what? The staff members actually gave you my phone number? What is the matter with them? Don't they know anything about privacy laws? They can't just hand out my personal information like that.
Well, I asked them to help me confirm how many reservations were canceled without my knowing. They gave me your number because it was attached to my file that they had on hand. Thankfully, I won't have to pay any kind of cancellation fee for what you've done. But I can't believe that you would do this to me.
But what other choice did I have? I can't just have you marrying my brother, you know?
Wait, what? What do you mean by that? I don't get it.
I mean that you really think you're good enough to be with someone as cool and smart and handsome as Randy? You're just a fat, ugly nobody. You were never ever going to be accepted into this family. I guess you haven't figured this out yet, but Randy basically only dates fat, ugly girls like you to make himself feel better.
No, that can't be right. You're lying to me.
You really think that me, his sister, who has seen every girl Randy has brought home, is lying to you about this? No, it's the truth. You never stood a chance of actually joining our family, so you might as well just cancel your engagement with Randy right now.
But I can't do that.
So you mean to tell me that even though you know your fiancé's sister is against your marriage, you're still going to try and go through with it? You really are a troublesome woman, do you know that? Honestly, I would be impressed if it wasn't so obnoxious.
You know, I've always felt that way. Like I wasn't good enough to be with Randy. I never could see what he saw in me. But the fact of that matter is that I want to marry him and he wants to marry me, and that's all that matters.
Of course that's not all that matters. I won't let you two get married. You'll see.
What do you mean? How on earth do you think you're going to stop us from getting married?
Because I'll stop at nothing to make sure that your wedding doesn't happen. It isn't fair. You don't deserve to be happy, and you don't deserve to be in my family. So you can count me out of your wedding. Do you understand? And just how do you think Randy is going to act when he learns that his own sister isn't going to be at his wedding?
Well, I think that you would really upset him if you did that, actually.
That's kind of the whole point, Marie. I am going to show my brother that a woman like you is just going to make him sad. And then every day, he'll start to love you less and less, until your marriage is nothing but a sham. And then he'll have hopefully realized what a mistake he's made being with you, and then he'll finally leave your fat ass.
I don't get it. Is all this hate for me really just because I'm a heavier person? I mean, do you just want me to lose weight?
It doesn't matter if you lose weight now, you'll still be a fat person at heart. Nothing you ever do will overcome that.
Hilda, that is a really awful way to view people, I think. But I'm afraid that it isn't going to change the way that I feel about your brother. Anyways, I'm going to tell Randy about what you did to our wedding plans.
Fine, go ahead and tell him. See if I care. I'm going to go and tell him that your wedding is off. I'm going to ask him to leave you and find someone better and more well-suited to him. After all, I have plenty of friends that he can pick from.
And do you really think that your brother is just going to go along with all of that?
I think that I'll show my brother the tier of woman he can get with if he wants. And once he realizes how horrible you are in comparison, he'll surely choose to marry someone else. So I wouldn't hold your breath on this wedding happening.
Hilda, are you there? We have seriously got to talk. What is the matter with you? Why would you just send trash to my workplace? That was you again, wasn't it?
What are you talking about this time? Why are you always trying to blame me for all the problems going on in your life?
Are you telling me that this really wasn't you? Because I am seriously thinking of reporting this to the police and they will find out who sent it.
Okay then, go report your little trash problem to the police. Don't waste my time like you're doing now, though.
Now, Hilda, I understand that for whatever reason you really don't seem to like me. But you can't go taking out this weird grudge of yours while I'm at work, okay? It's just unacceptable.
No, you know what's unacceptable? Just how unbearable having to deal with you is. Why won't you just leave my brother already? I mean, I heard that you two are legally married now. Did my opposition mean nothing to you? I told you that you two weren't allowed to get married.
And I thought I told you that was something between Randy and I. You don't have a say in whether or not we get married, do you understand? And nothing you say now is going to change anything.
Well, you two better not have your actual wedding, or else there is going to be serious hell to pay. I will make sure that the whole thing comes crashing down around you.
I don't get it, Hilda. I thought that you and I were getting along so well. I really don't know what I did to make you dislike me. But I just wish that we could be adults and talk this out.
Talk this out? I don't ever want to see your face again, let alone talk anything out. I mean, how dare you get married to my brother? No, you and I are never ever going to see each other again.
Are you really sure you want to leave things like this? I mean, I'm sure that Randy would love to talk to you about this as well. I think he's starting to get really confused and upset with you. Don't you at least want to explain yourself to your brother? I mean, I know how close the two of you are, and I don't want to ruin that.
Oh, please. If you didn't want to ruin it, then you should have stayed away from him in the first place. Just your existence is ruining what he had together. I knew my brother before you even knew he existed, and yet now you think you can just barge in, marry him, and pretend like it's nothing.
Hilda, is that how you really feel about all of this? Then I really just don't know what to say. But I want you to know that your brother makes me very happy, and I make him happy, and I'm not sure what about that makes you so unhappy.
I don't even care what the two of you do anymore. Just know that I am not going to let you get away with this. And I just want you to know that you're going to look hideous in your wedding dress, and everyone is going to talk about how horrible you look and what an awful couple you are. So enjoy your wedding when everyone is talking behind your back. Hey there, Marie. I just wanted to say that I'm so sorry about what happened to your wedding.
Hey, Hilda, sorry. What do you mean by that exactly?
I just mean about your wedding ceremony, you know? I know that my brother said that the whole thing was off, right? But you know that my brother isn't even upset about it? He said that if I wasn't going to be at the wedding, then it wasn't one that he should be having. So I guess that means that you've been officially dumped and left all on your own.
No, actually, I'm pretty sure he just told you that so you would keep quiet and stay out of our way. But we've already had our wedding.
Wait, what? What do you mean? Randy told me yesterday that nothing was going to happen. What do you mean that your wedding already happened?
I mean that it literally just happened. We just wrapped it up right now. Randy figured that you would trust whatever he told you, so he came up with that lie so that you wouldn't interfere with us.
But I don't understand. This isn't making any sense to me. How could this be?
Well, it happened because I told him all about how you canceled our wedding venue reservations and kept threatening to do even more if the two of us got married.
So then, you two really already got married? And you did it today? That still doesn't make sense, though. I mean, our parents left to go abroad just a few days ago. Are you telling me that they weren't there either?
No, the wedding was in Italy and your parents are here with us.
But you mean you all went to go to your wedding in Italy and you left me here all alone?
Yep. Not just your parents, though. Plenty of your relatives and mine showed up to help Randy and I celebrate. Of course, I am still upset that we couldn't get the original venue that we wanted, but I'm not about to complain about what we ended up with.
No, this can't be happening. I mean, I thought you had given up on the wedding. I didn't even hear that you made a second reservation for another venue, but now you're telling me it's because you made your plans in Italy?
Yeah. It was a bit last minute, I will admit. And even though I saw so many of our relatives were there, that was basically it. It was a very small ceremony, and there couldn't have been more than a couple dozen people.
So then you two went through with it, and everyone knows about it? Randy, Mom, and Dad all lied to me about the wedding and then left without saying a word to me about it?
That's right. We were all really thinking hard about what to do with you. Then your mom told us about how you went through her phone. Something that you do a lot, I guess? To find out when our wedding was going to be happening. So that's when we realized that he just had to keep our plans absolutely secret. And that's when Randy suggested getting married overseas. So we left no traces of texts and did all of our planning and coordination over the phone.
So you all tricked me. You all went this far just to keep me from knowing about the wedding. I thought we were all family here. This wasn't supposed to happen like this. How could you all do this to me?
I asked you to accept that Randy and I were getting married over and over again. But all you did was return that with threats that you would do something to ruin our wedding. You put me into the position where I felt like I couldn't do anything but lie to you. And all your family agreed that it was the best way to keep you from doing anything that would completely embarrass your brother and I. If you don't like what's happened, I'm afraid that you have no one to blame but yourself.
But I don't get it. Randy told me that you two weren't getting married. My own brother lied to me. I've tried texting him, but he isn't reading any of my messages now.
Well, that's probably because him and your parents have all decided to block you while we're here. We just wanted nothing to do with you after all that you've been putting me through. And quite frankly, I'm really not sure if they're going to want to do anything with you when we get back. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have my honeymoon to enjoy. After her parents got back from Italy, they talked to Hilda and told her that they were cutting her out of their lives and never wanted to see her again. They also promised Randy and I not to ever tell Hilda a word about us ever again. We even had to find a new house to move into since Hilda found out where we were planning on going. Although that was a search that I started as soon as I learned that Hilda canceled my wedding venue reservations. As for Hilda, she fell into a deep depression after her family basically all turned their backs on her. I guess she just couldn't bring herself to understand why this was her fault. I can only hope for her sake, though, that one day she realizes the mistake she made. And maybe by the time she does that, all of us will finally be ready to let her back into our lives.
Hey Sarah, are you there? I just wanted to talk about the lunch you packed for me today. Don't you think it's a little, well, awful?
Wait, what? You think the lunch that I packed for you was awful? How so? What didn't you like about it? Was something rotten or just really bad tasting or something?
No, not really anything like that, really. I was just thinking that you used an awful lot of frozen things, didn't you?
Oh. Did I really? I guess I wasn't aware that I was doing that. And you're telling me that you don't want me to put frozen foods in your lunch from now on?
Well, it's not that, but this whole meal is basically entirely made up of stuff from the freezer, don't you think? I just wish that you would have put a little more thought and care into what you were serving me is all.
Well, I'm really sorry you don't like your lunch, Chuck, but I just didn't really have time to make anything else. I mean, you know that I started working today, and so I just don't have time in the mornings like I used to.
I get that, but if this is what you're going to be packing me from now on, I think you had better make some time. I mean, do you really need so much time in the morning to get ready for work? Is it really that big of a deal?
Well, it was only my first day today, so I wanted to make sure that I had time to look nice and show up at the office a little early. I mean, I want my new coworkers and boss to think that I'm a good employee who is motivated about this job.
I guess, but I mean, they've already hired you, right? So it's not like they're going to be firing you anytime soon unless you make some huge mistake. Besides, you were already doing the same job part-time before they gave you a promotion to full-time. Are you sure you're not just being a bit overdramatic with all of this?
Look, I just really like my company, and I think they are really earnest about their message. I mean, the person who started the company, my current boss, used to be a working housewife as well. She wanted to start the company to help women get into the workforce and create a career path that takes into account what it means to be a woman and wife. I really respect my boss and the company. You know that.
Well, look, all I'm asking is that you don't get all caught up in this new position of yours, okay? I mean, this lunch is already giving me enough reason to worry. I don't want you slacking on anything else. And just know that if having a full-time job like me ever gets too difficult for you, you can always quit and go back to being a full-time housewife again.
Chuck, what has gotten into you? What is this conversation even about, huh? I mean, are you really so opposed to me having a job? I thought you said you wouldn't mind if we both worked.
Of course you can work. I never said that you wouldn't be allowed to work or anything like that. I'm just saying that before your job, you should be caring about your family and making sure they're taken care of first, right? Besides, you're getting old, and I'm wondering how you're going to be concentrating on the family and your job. I mean, just how long are you going to make this job the center of your life?
Chuck, I can assure you now that my job is not going to take over my life. In fact, my job is very encouraging of mothers and expecting mothers, if you must know. Besides, this way we can save up more for when we retire. You care about that, don't you? What if Jake wants to go to college out of state or something? You know how expensive that's going to be.
Right. Well, I guess we do need to put aside some money for the children, but I think that you really ought to be worrying about my lunch before anything.
Chuck, I am not a personal chef or anything like that, okay? I do worry about making sure that your needs are being taken care of. But the fact of the matter is that I just have less time now. It's not a measure of how much I care, okay?
Well, either way, it doesn't change the fact that you're still trading my quality of life for your ability to work.
I'm sorry, but I think that you should be just a little more grateful about the fact that I have been making your lunch every day now. If you really don't like what you're eating for lunch now, however, then I guess I can just give you a bit of money to buy your own lunch.
So you're really just going to stop making lunches for me entirely then? Wow. I just really can't believe that that's how bad things have gotten for us.
I'm sorry, but I really don't think that you have much room to complain. I've explained to you the situation and offered an alternative. Besides, our son has no problem at all with what I pack him. He has never told me that my lunches are nasty. You're the only one who ever complains about the things that I do and how I do them.
Oh, please. You're really going to try and compare me to a child? He'd eat anything you put in front of him. How can you be serious about that?
Well, it works fine for me. I mean, if you really have something to complain about, then why don't you try cooking your own lunch?
Why are you acting like this is such a big deal? I'm not complaining. I'm just voicing my opinion, that's all. Of course I'm thankful that you make lunches for me. I was just saying that I thought there were quite a few frozen foods in here.
Oh, really? Because I don't think I've heard you say once that you're thankful for what I do. And you never ever complimented my lunches either, even before I started this job.
Right, well, what did you have in mind for us for dinner tonight?
I was going to bake some chicken and serve it with rice and some vegetables. Does that suit your need?
Well, if I'm being honest with you, it sounds like another lazy meal, really.
Are you kidding me? What about that is lazy? How is that not enough for you? It's a protein, a grain, and vegetables. That's a whole meal.
Right, but I mean, you're just going to put the rice, vegetables, and chicken next to each other on a plate and just serve it to me like that, right? Besides, you said that you were going to bake the chicken? So basically, you're not even really cooking anything. You're just making the oven do all the work.
What on earth are you talking about? How do you think cooking is done? Am I not cooking for use fire that comes from the gas stove?
I think that you're just purposely not trying to see my point. All I'm saying is that I wish you would put a little more care into the food that you make for me.
And I am telling you that we are both working now and am asking you for some patience and understanding. Did you really think that nothing was going to change at all now that we're both working? I mean, this is my first day at work and you're already complaining so much. You know that I'm going to come home tired and full of new information today, right?
Okay, geez, I'm sorry. I wouldn't have said anything if I knew you were going to make such a big deal about all of this. I guess I just thought that you could handle the responsibility without sacrificing everything that I had gotten used to before you were working.
Are you kidding me right now, Chuck? We literally talked about this before I started this job. I told you that I wouldn't be able to do all of the chores around the house like I used to. You told me that you would be there to help me out if I needed it. We agreed that we would split most of the work. I thought that you were ready for this.
I know, but well, I thought that I wouldn't have to do anything. That's why I agreed to it. Besides, you get home before I even do. I don't see why you can't just get things done before I get home.
I really hope that you're not serious about that, Chuck. Are you really going to try and tell me that you didn't mean any of what you said? I don't mind doing something like cooking before you come home to make sure that we all have dinner. But I'm not going to be able to clean the house and do the laundry beforehand. I need your help for that.
But that isn't fair. I don't get why I should have to do that work just because you couldn't get it done on time.
That is not what I am even talking about. It can be so infuriating even trying to discuss this with you. But anyways, my lunch break is almost over and I have some training documents that I need to look over before the break ends. I have to get back to work now. We'll talk about this later.
You can't just walk away from this conversation. We still have to figure out who's going to do the laundry. I'm telling you now that if you won't be able to handle a joke like this, just ask for part-time.
Hey Chuck, are you there? We need to talk, like, right now. I thought I asked you to hang up the laundry. So why isn't it up yet, and why have you already left the house?
Wait, what? What do you mean? Did you really tell me to do that? I'm not so sure about that.
Well, I am. I asked you to do it. I know that I did.
Are you really sure about that? I don't remember you asking me anything like that whatsoever, really. But anyways, I've already left the house, so I don't really see the point of this conversation when you could just be doing it.
You didn't do anything around the house at all that I asked you to do. What is the matter with you, Chuck?
Well, I don't know what you want me to do about it. It isn't my fault. I mean, even if you did ask me, I just forgot, okay? I mean, are you really going to blame me for that? Besides, today's our day off and you're back home already now, right? So I just don't get why you just can't do it.
Oh, I am going to do it because we need to have dry laundry to put on. But you get that this is bigger than the laundry, right? I thought I told you that I needed more help with chores around the house. You told me that you were going to do it. I was counting on you doing it.
But you're home right now. Why can't you just do it? But come on. You know you're better at that stuff than me.
How can you say that when Jake is a literal child and he still does a much better job helping me than you do?
I mean, he even went out to do some of the grocery shopping for me and even helped me cook dinner, too.
Well, he's just a student. He's got nothing but time on his hands anyways. In fact, you know what? If Jake is so much better than me, you can just count on him for everything. After all, when he's in college, he'll be living on his own. So it'd be good for him to learn these things.
That's honestly not a bad idea, given how much more useful Jack is around the house than you are. Did you know that I don't even have to pack lunches for him anymore?
And just what are you trying to get at with that little comment, huh?
Well, do you remember the day that you went out golfing? Jack stayed home all day and helped me clean the house then. And just what do you think we're going to do when I'm too old to take care of the house by myself, huh?
Well, we'll just get Jack's wife to do all the cooking and cleaning for us then, of course.
Do you even think before you send these messages, Chuck? Why are you always trying to get someone else to do your work for you? I mean, I work and do my best to take care of the house, and you still won't try to help out at all.
Here we go again. I knew that you should have just stuck with that part-time job in the first place.
Well, I'm happy that I'm working full-time, thank you very much. And just why don't you want me working anyways?
I already told you. Now you're concentrating way too much on your job and letting this house fall apart.
Do you really think that our house is anywhere near falling apart, Chuck? Because if you do, then the only person you can blame is the one not hauling their own weight around here. You!
But, I mean, you two are so much better than it than me.
And be that as it may, I have explained to you now that I'm working, I just don't have time to do all that work now. So, if you want something done around the house, then you can do it.
No, I won't do them. You were going to do them for me. Now you have some free time, so you can do all the chores. Besides, if I do them, you're just going to have to do them again anyways.
Are you really so against just doing a little bit of work around the house to help out your wife and son?
I don't even know how to use the vacuum cleaner. You expect me to be doing things like the laundry?
Are you kidding me with that? I really don't believe that you don't even know how to use the vacuum. But I've offered to show you how to do everything that you'll need to know.
Even if you have time to teach me all of that, then you might as well just do all of the work yourself. It would just be faster that way, don't you think?
I really don't even know what to say to you anymore. But I've just about had enough out of you, and I'm going to get back to cleaning the house.
Well, that's what you should have been doing this whole time anyways. And since you have so much time on your hands anyway, why don't you make something good for dinner too? And by that I mean, put some actual effort into it, okay? If you don't, I'll make you cook it all over again. If you want to keep your full-time job, you'll do as I say and keep the house clean, got it? And if you can't do that, then I will force you to go back to working part-time. Hey, Sarah, where are you? Have you still not gotten home from work yet? I can't find Jack anywhere either. Where are the two of you? What's going on here?
Jack is at the library studying right now, Chuck. And I told you this morning that I was going to have an appointment at the beauty salon, so that's where I am now. I shouldn't be much longer before I'm on my way home.
Wait, what? Why are you wasting money going to some beauty salon? What is the matter with you?
What is the matter with me? What are you talking about? Why are you reacting like this? What's wrong with me going there? I'm getting my roots touched up and getting a little haircut. Is that really so bad?
But why can't you do all that at home? Why do you have to waste our money paying someone else to do that for you?
Because I work full-time and meet with clients for a living. I want to make sure that I look presentable for all of that. If you really are trying to tell me that I'm not even allowed to maintain my own appearance, then I don't even know what to say.
I just would like to know why you think that you have to look good for anyone who isn't your husband. I mean, just where are you going around with that new haircut, huh? Also, the house is looking horrible. Did you two do any cleaning at all today? I'm going to be going out drinking, and the house better be clean by the time I get back tonight. Do I make myself clear?
Did you really just send that message? Just who in the world do you think you are, huh?
What do you mean, who do you think I am? I think that I'm your husband, and what I say goes, got it? Now you're going to get back here and clean up the house like I am ordering you to. And after that, you and I are going to talk about having you quit your job and getting my mom involved and training you how to be a good wife. I know that if my mom could see the way that you take care of our house, that she would be appalled at you.
Are you sure about that? Because the one who helped clean the house today was your mom, actually. And here I thought that she did a really good job, actually. I guess I should call her and let her know that you weren't happy at all with how she did it, though. I'll tell her you want her to come back and do it all again.
Wait. What do you mean it was my mom who was doing all the cleaning? You mean she came over and helped sort the house out?
That's right. I talked to her and told her about how you were never happy with the way that I cleaned the house. So she offered to come over and clean. She came around the afternoon, but surely you're not telling me that you're not happy with the job your mom did, right?
Well, Actually, you know what? Now that you mention it, things do look pretty clean. I guess maybe it was just bad lighting. It is late and all. Maybe my eyes were tired or something. I don't know.
No, you clearly hate the job she did. So I'll tell her to come back and do it all over again.
Please don't do that. I'm sorry, okay? I shouldn't have said that.
No, you shouldn't have. You shouldn't have treated me all the way that you have been the last few weeks because I am sick of it. You said that you would have no problem with me working, and now all you do is try and control my life, and I am sick of it. I'm going to come home after my hair is done, pack up my bags, and leave you.
Sarah, please. It's been a whole week. When are you going to come back?
Why would I ever do that, huh?
Well, my mom told me all about what I was doing wrong. My mom told me all about how hard it is to keep a house clean, especially when you have to worry about working.
So you're telling me that she told you what I had been going through?
That's right. I had no idea about just how difficult all of it was. I swear. Had I known, I never would have acted that way.
Well, you certainly weren't making it any easier with how insulting you were being towards me, you know?
I know, but you aren't really going to divorce me, are you? I mean, we're both way too old for that. And we still have our son to worry about.
Oh, please. You would have it so that I was never working and always having to be reliant on you for money. Except for the fact that you and I both know that you don't even make enough money to take care of all of us.
But I'll do something about the money, okay? I can find a second job.
Are you kidding me? Are you telling me that your mom talked about how difficult it is to keep a house running? And all you can think of is that you'll earn more money so that you can force me back into the home? Why can't you just help me clean the house?
Because I hate doing chores. I hate doing them so much. So please, won't you quit your job, move back in, and just clean the house like you always used to do?
I can't believe that you're really asking me to do this. This is honestly just pathetic, Chuck. Are you really so scared of cooking for yourself?
But I hate cooking most of all. I really have no idea how to do it, and everything I make tastes awful. Please, Sarah, I need you. Can't you see that?
Oh, I know very well that you need me. But the fact is that I also know that I don't need you. Goodbye, Chuck. I hope that at the very least this teaches you to take care of yourself. After that, I sent movers to collect the rest of my things from the house, and I served Chuck with divorce papers. He was forced to move into a much smaller apartment that he could afford, and quickly had to learn how to fend for himself. The last time I heard any news about him, it was because he had set his apartment on fire trying to cook something. He had forgotten to put the water in his instant noodles, and they caught fire in the microwave. As for Jack and I am still working full-time and providing for both of us. Jack understands that without his dad around and me working more, that he needs to do more around the house for the both of us. Jack still keeps in touch with his father, however, and has even been spending some of his free time going over to his house and trying to teach him to cook and clean. I don't know where that boy got his patience from, but his father is all the luckier for it.
Hey, Sophia, how's it going? I just wanted to let you know that we got those really lovely oranges that you sent us. Thank you so much. I'm gonna be having them with Deb. I was just thinking of making some fresh squeezed juice for breakfast tomorrow. So anyways, I just wanted to thank you for always thinking of us.
Oh, Christopher, what a lovely message to get from you. Thank you so much for letting me know that they got there. I hope I didn't send too many for you and Deb. I wasn't so sure how much would have been good to send.
No, it's perfect, and straight from Florida, too. We really are excited to enjoy them. And it's actually perfect because we were just talking about trying to eat less desserts, so this will be a good replacement.
Well, I'm happy to have sent them to you, and I hope that you enjoy them. By the way, how is Deb doing? I sent her a message that I had shipped the oranges, but I never got a reply, and I was just a bit worried.
Oh, Deb is just fine, but she's been taking naps during the day, so that's probably what it was. I'm sure that she forgot to respond to you, that's all. She just has really bad memory if you ask me. We are getting old though, so I'm sorry if that worried you at all.
It's not a problem at all. I'm just glad to hear that everyone is doing okay. Sorry to be nosy.
Honestly, sometimes I think my wife could learn a thing or two from you, you know? Lately, she's been making up a bunch of excuses about being too sick to do anything around the house. It's actually kind of starting to bug me.
Well, it might not be an excuse, you know? I mean, given how hot it's been lately. I can't judge anyone for not wanting to move.
Yeah, you're right about that. But I don't think that's all that's going on here. I mean, she has been really against doing anything in the house at all.
Well, just take care of each other and make sure you're not pushing yourselves too hard, okay? I wouldn't want to hear that one of you landed in the hospital for heat stroke or something like that.
Oh, of course, I'll ask my wife what's been up with her and check that she's really as sick as she says. Oh, right, I actually wanted to ask you a quick question. There's gonna be about a week period in the summer when Deb and I are gonna be away on vacation.
Oh, really? So you two are planning on traveling somewhere?
Yeah, she says she wants to go to her hometown because there's gonna be a huge family reunion, so that's where we're gonna go.
Oh, I see. Well, that sounds like a good chance to catch up with a bunch of people you might have not seen for a long time. Anyways, thank you again so much for the kind messages, and I really am glad that you and Deb enjoyed the gift. But you would be traveling with Deb then, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. It's been a while since her and I have gotten to take a trip together, so this'll be a good chance for that. Not to mention the fact that it really has been a long time since Deb and all her relatives have gotten together.
Yeah, I remember Deb mentioning to me once that the last time they did something like this was over a decade ago. But I guess it must be tough to coordinate with so many people. So are you going to try and make any stops along the way for the two of you?
Well, there are some nice lodges and hot springs around where her hometown is. I was thinking it could be fun to try and make it out of one of those and relax her old bones.
Well, as long as you two have some time to relax by yourselves, that's what's most important. Anyways, I guess I'll tell Dave that you two are going to be away for a while in the summer.
Oh yes, okay, please pass it along to him. Thank you. Alright then, I think that's it for me. It's been lovely catching up with you, and make sure you're staying cool out there. And come over sometime soon, okay? It's been too long since I've seen my grandson.
Well, he really misses both of you too. But anyways, I also have some errands that I need to go and do. All of this talk of family reunions made me realize that it's been a while since I've sent anything to my own family. Maybe I should reach out to them soon and ask how they're doing. Hi there, Christopher. I was just wondering if you wouldn't mind asking Deb to check her phone for me?
Oh, hey there, Sophia. Is something the matter? Maybe I can help you out?
Well, I know that Deb is going to be visiting her family's grave in her hometown, and I was messaging her about sending flowers from us. But anyways, she hasn't responded to me, and I would really like to talk about this if possible.
Oh, you don't need to do that. You can just send anything you want here, and we'll be sure to take it over, okay?
Are you sure about that? I was just thinking of what kind of bouquet would look nicest, but...
I think that you have a great taste. You just pick something out and send it over, so don't worry about what it is. I promise that we're not that picky.
I see. But did something happen to Deb? I'm just worried because she hasn't been responding to me at all. Did you ask her about how she was feeling? Is she really actually sick or something?
No, she's just fine. Not sick at all, really.
Well, that's good to hear at least, because I know her dad 3 months ago, and I was just wondering about how she was handling that. And the only reason I mention that is because I feel like it was around 3 months ago that she stopped getting back to me. I just wonder if she hasn't been feeling a bit depressed since then. Obviously, anyone would take their own father dying quite hard.
Yeah, she is still quite sad about it. I think that you're right about that at least, but it's already been 3 months. I really am getting a bit sick and tired of her acting like this. I think that she's dragging this out just a bit too much.
You really feel that, Christopher? I don't know. I thought you would want to be a little more patient with her.
I have been patient with her, but the fact is her dad was on his way out of here for a long time, and I just thought that she would have already been more ready for when he did die. You remember meeting him in the hospital, right? He had been in there for a long time before that, and we all knew it was gonna happen.
Right, well, I just wonder if maybe there was a big difference for Deb between telling yourself to be ready for it and then actually dealing with it.
I understand this, but her dad was already in his 90s. Had a good long life and just didn't think that she would be mourning for this long.
I see. Well, I understand where you both are coming from. But anyways, I really am just trying to get a hold of her. Maybe it would just be better if I went over in person?
Oh, sorry about that. I think we're gonna be leaving for our trip soon, so I don't know how well that would work.
Well, I could always just go and visit you both after you get back from your trip. I would love to hear all about the family reunion.
Right, I see. Well, I guess if that's what you want to do, then that would be fine.
Sorry, what do you mean if that's all I wanted to do? What else would I be doing but visiting you two?
Sorry, nothing. I just have a lot on my mind right now. And I think that Deb is also busy keeping herself entertained.
Sorry, what do you mean by that? I thought you said she was too sad to do anything around the house.
Well, she certainly isn't doing anything around the house, but ever since her dad died, she's been going out a lot more. Even now, she's not even at home right now because she's out doing something. But just don't tell her that I told you any of this or I'll never hear the end of it from her.
I see. Well, thank you for telling me that anyways. I really do appreciate it. And I am glad that she's well enough to go out and do things. But if you could just tell her to please get back to my messages when she has a chance, I would really, really appreciate it. I mean, she isn't even picking up when Dave calls her.
I see. Well, that's also good to know. I'll let her know that you were just a bit worried and want to talk to her is all.
Please do that. Thanks so much for talking to me about this, Christopher.
Sophia, are you there? Do you have a moment to talk? I have a small favor to ask of you if you don't mind.
Oh, Deb! It's been so long since I've heard from you. How have you been? What is this favor you want to ask about?
Well, I just wanted to let you know that I'm on the bus on the way to your house right now. I'm so sorry to ask about this so suddenly, but I'm wondering if I can't ask to live with you and Dave for a while.
Wait, what? You're coming here to stay with us? Well, do you mind if I ask what happened? Is everything okay at home?
Well, I was kicked out of the house by Christopher, if you can believe it.
You're kidding me! Why would he do that to you? Why would he kick you out of the house? Did you two get into some kind of fight or something like that?
Well, I think it was a bit more than a fight, if I'm being honest. But my husband was keeping me locked up in the shed for a long, long time. He was upset at me for not sharing part of the inheritance I received when my dad died. He told me he wasn't going to let me out until I gave him some money. But I also knew that you were going to be coming over today, and I was just so embarrassed. I finally gave in and told Christopher the information he would need to get into my bank account. Then he finally let me out of the shed, but I was just so scared that he would try something again, so instead of waiting for you to arrive, I ran away.
Deb, is all this really true? I mean, you mean to tell me that that's why I couldn't get in touch with you this whole time?
Yes, that's why. I saw that you had been trying to get in contact with me about so many different things. I'm so sorry to have caused you any worry about this.
Deb, please, you don't have anything to apologize for at all. I mean, I'm just glad to hear that you're alive. I mean, I'm still just trying to wrap my head around this whole thing. I can't believe that Christopher would do that to you. I'm really sorry. I should have tried to come over and visit you all sooner.
No, this is not your fault at all either. I mean, Christopher was doing everything he could to tell you that he didn't need you to come and visit us.
That is true. He kept making up excuses whenever I suggested that I come over. But still, it's only you two living in that house. I should have insisted on going over just to give you both some company.
Actually, there's another reason why he didn't want you to come over. You see, Christopher has been living with his mistress this whole time. That's why he didn't bother chasing me after I handed over my bank account information. He already found someone else and was probably glad that I left on my own. But I really had no idea at all that he would have ever gone so far as to do something like this.
Deb, do you mind if I ask where you are right now? If you want to get off at a stop somewhere, I would be more than happy to go and pick you up.
Oh, Sophia, thank you so much. That really is so thoughtful of you. I'm just so shaken up. I don't think I've stopped shaking since I finally sat down on the bus. Feels like it's been so long since I had a decent meal. I can get off downtown and meet you by the university if that would work.
Yes, of course. I'll grab my things and head out of the house right now. Just meet me by the cafe near the gas station around there. You know the one.
That sounds good to me. But given that the university is at the end of the bus line, I won't be there for quite some time. I'll message you again when I get close. Thank you so much again for doing this for me.
Oh, yeah, I suppose that's true. You are coming all the way from your house. Okay then, I'll just be ready to leave whenever you message me.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry that you'll have to pick me up in this state. I feel haggard and smelly, and I would just love to take a hot bath.
I'm so sorry that you've been through so much, but I'm glad that you were healthy enough to get yourself out of there. I'll see you soon. Just please take care of yourself until then and stay safe, okay? I'll talk to Dave about this and we'll make sure to protect you. Don't you worry about that. Hey, Christopher. I was wondering if I could talk to you a little bit about Deb.
You want to talk to me about Deb? Don't tell me that she ended up going over there to you guys.
That's right. She got here last night and is with Dave and I right now.
I see. That woman really is gonna be the death of me one day, I swear. I really am sorry that you're having to put up with her nonsense right now. But if you really want to know, she ran away because I caught her cheating on me, and she said that she couldn't stand the guilt. But I had no idea that she would just turn around and run to you. Anyways, her and I are getting a divorce, so feel free to kick her out if you want.
Hold on a second. Are you trying to tell me that Deb was the one cheating on you? Because she says that you were the one cheating on her. When are you going to stop lying to me and start telling me the truth?
Sophia, I'm sorry that you've gotten dragged into this, but you should know that you can't trust a word that Deb says to you. She's a horrible liar, and she isn't afraid to say anything as long as she gets her way.
I really don't think that you know what you're talking about at all. I mean, do you not feel bad at all about what you've done to your own wife?
I'm telling you that she was the one who was cheating on me. Please, Sophia, you are letting yourself be tricked by Deb. I mean, did she even give you any proof that I was cheating on her? If you're gonna demand apologies from people, then the least you could do is at least show proof that they actually did something wrong.
And here I thought that you would just be an adult about this and own up to what you've done. But fine, if you're really going to act this way, then that's up to you.
What are you talking about? You still haven't shown me any proof at all. You can't just accuse me of cheating like this.
Say whatever you want. It isn't going to stop your house from being demolished.
What on earth are you talking about? Why would my house be demolished?
Well, because Dave is heading over to your house with his contractor friend right now.
But, wait, why would he demolish the house? Well, I live here. The house is mine. You can't do this.
You might live there, but do you know that it's Deb who actually owns the house, don't you? It has always been her house and you both living in it.
But, I mean, you're not really gonna demolish the house, are you? This has gotta be some kind of trick. I mean, who even is this contractor friend?
I already told you, he's an old friend of Dave's, and Dave called in a favor with him to demolish the house. And according to Deb, you and your lover should be away on a vacation right now. So then there's no one at home, right? Enjoy the rest of your vacation.
And you're really just gonna do this without any proof whatsoever?
It's no proof. I actually went back to the house with Deb and she showed me the clothes in there that certainly didn't belong to her. Not only that, but you had photos of you and this other woman on the wall, and in your bedroom. It was like you were trying to completely replace your wife.
No, it's not like that at all. You don't understand.
And just what don't I understand? Telling me that? I mean, you're not saying anything to support your own case, you know. But even your neighbors have backed up the fact that for a while now, a woman who is not Deb has been coming in and out of your house.
Okay, I get it, jeez. Just please don't go and demolish my house. I have a lot of really important things in there, and you can't just go and smash them all. Yeah, at least just let me go back home and pack up some things. Maybe then we can talk in person and try to settle this rationally, you know?
Oh, don't worry about that. We already did you the courtesy of moving your things into the shed. Nothing is going to be damaged when the house comes down. Oh, and by the way, when Deb came to us, we took her to a branch of her bank right away and changed all of her information so that you couldn't touch a cent of her money.
So you cut me off from her money then?
That's right. It was never yours to begin with, and you shouldn't have been trying to steal from your wife anyways.
But, please, okay, let me talk to Deb. I can't get in contact with her at all. She isn't answering my messages.
Do you really expect her to want to say a word to you after you treated her like an animal and locked her in the shed?
But I didn't even do that, please. This is all just a big mistake.
So you're still not going to own up to what you've done then? Do you have any idea the state that Deb was in when she arrived to us? She looked like she had barely been eating. How could you treat someone like that? It's horrible.
No, you don't understand. She's just pretending, okay? She isn't actually hurt. I swear, you gotta believe me.
I really just don't know what to do with you anymore. I really misjudged you. But we checked out the shed and it was clear that someone had been living there for a long time. There was even a corner in there that she used as a bathroom. I wish you would just stop lying to me already and admit what you did.
All right, I've had just about enough out of you. This is a matter for me and my wife to discuss, and you need to butt out. You tell Deb that we are going to get a divorce and that I will be taking half of her assets. Whether she likes it or not, she will be giving her part of the inheritance that she got.
What on earth are you talking about? You do know that you won't get things that she inherited as part of a divorce settlement, right?
Wait, what? What do you mean by that?
I mean that legally, things and money gotten from inheritance are a different legal category than normal assets. So divorcing Deb won't get you anything.
You're lying to me. That can't be right. You are lying to me, aren't you?
So, you're telling me that you really are doing all this without even making sure the law is on your side? You really are an idiot. Do you know that? I can't believe that you did all of this to Deb for something that could have never been yours to begin with.
So, wait, do you mean that I'm really not gonna get anything at all out of this? Please, just wait, hold on, I'll be home soon, I swear. Just don't do anything until I get there.
I'm sorry, but the cranes and wrecking balls have been demolishing the house for the past half hour.
My home? I don't believe this. What have you done?
I'm sorry, but the only person who should be taking any blame for everything going on right now is you, Christopher. After this, we never, ever want to hear from you again. And when Deb does contact you, it will be through her lawyer. Got it?
But I really needed the money. My new woman has expensive tastes, and I've already blown through all my savings for her. Please, you can't just abandon me like this. I really need the money.
And just why do you think that's any of our problems? Huh? The next day, Christopher and his mistress got back from their vacation to find their half-demolished house. Needless to say, they were left speechless. The demolition process slowed after that. And for the next 2 weeks, Christopher could watch as the house was torn apart, board by board. He took his things and tried to rent a hotel room, but was quickly running out of money. Knowing this, his mistress realized that he had nothing more to offer and left him. It wasn't long after that when Deb's lawyer reached out about the divorce. But that wasn't all. He was also being charged for kidnapping and illegally holding his own wife. Deb agreed to drop the charges if Christopher immediately signed a restraining order that would keep him away from her. Now, Deb lives with Dave and I. She's been through so much already that we do our best to make sure she doesn't work, but Deb insists on helping out when she can as part of her own recovery process. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.